if you realize how much you did for us.
What's that?
Hello. It would appear my target has disappeared. By order of the Institute, you must be destroyed.
What? Scared already?
Following Institute protocol, eliminating hostile.
You're here! You're here!
Fascinating.
Stop hiding! Gotta come out sooner or
I am
later!
equipped with the most advanced Institute sensors available. I will find you.
Gonna splatter your brain!
Regrettable occurrence. Operating at full capacity.
You know, in all my years, I've never set foot outside the Institute. Not once. Since the day they brought me here. I've never had a reason. But now, this just confirms the truth I've always known. The Commonwealth is dead. There's no future here. The only hope for humanity lies below.
It's not so bad, really. People manage.
Perhaps. But at a cost too great to be worth it. Standing here, I'm reminded of how fortunate I am that I was spared a life in this wasteland. I know that to you, I was kidnapped from that vault. Both of us, really.
They left me on ice. For 60 years.
They did. And for good reason. I was the perfect candidate. An infant with uncorrupted DNA. But if something were to go wrong, if I died, well, the Institute realized a contingency plan was prudent. Another source of pre-war DNA, preferably related to their primary subject. It only made sense that my parents should fill that role. I'll admit, when I had you released from Vault 111, I had no expectations that you'd survive out here.
Sure.
To not only do so, extraordinary.
So it was you. You let me out?
Yes. Certainly it was no longer necessary to keep you suspended. Well, I suppose I wanted to see what would happen. An experiment of sorts. Would the Commonwealth corrupt you, as it has everything else? Would you even survive? Perhaps most curious to me, would you, after all this time, attempt to find me?
Right. That's all this is to you? All I am to you? Just another experiment?
No, that's not. There are greater things to come after your... The synths have been safely returned and will be repurposed. I hope you weren't at too much risk.
The Courser could have handled it on his own. It was a waste of my time.
I disagree. It's important that you understand the work that is necessary to maintain the Institute. The railroad remains an annoyance. And you, well, you've passed the test, there's this. Please, take this as a token of my... It's time for you to become more involved in the future. I'd like you to join me inside. The directorate is meeting, and you should be there. I'll be waiting. I've seen enough. It's time to go back in.
Sounds like those raiders at Libertalia were quite a handful.
Father has done remarkable things. I would not exist were it not for
Let's get this directorate meeting over with before we speak further. Well, it's important. Good, we're all here. I think it's time we begin.
Sir, excuse me, but what exactly is she doing here?
I will address that issue. But there are other subjects that require our attention first. The level of unrest in the Commonwealth continues to rise, as we're all aware. Your report.
All Institute facilities remain completely secure with the exception of one notable breach. Otherwise, internally, things are as tight as they've ever been. Dr. Ayo has been keeping an eye on things topside.
Yes, Watchers show no additional threats beyond those previously identified. We're still monitoring the increased activity around Fort Independence, but there are no immediate signs we should be concerned. Boston International Airport remains occupied, with Brotherhood presence noted at several other points throughout the Commonwealth. Intelligence suggests that this railroad continues to operate and is becoming more ambitious. SRB agents are monitoring all known situations, sir.
Very good, thank you. It's clear that our safety needs to be the primary concern going forward. To that end, where are we on Phase 3?
Sir, are you sure this is the time to be discussing it? Given, well, considering all parties present?
Ah, yes, that's true. Have you heard anything about Phase 3?
I don't think so.
It's all right. I wouldn't expect you to have. The project has been classified from the beginning. Power is, as I'm sure you've seen. I'm not talking about some abstract concept of control. With every advance the Institute makes, our need for raw power increases. Many...
Right? Compromise is for the weak.
That is one perspective, yes. But I think we can agree that going forward, no one can consider us weak. Phase 3 is simply the activation of a nuclear reactor that can provide enough power to the Institute now and forever. It will ensure not just our survival, but our prosperity.
Whoa. Nuclear power? That's a disaster waiting to happen.
Not in our hands. I assure you this is the answer. This is the future. The reactor is close to ready, but recent tests have determined we have a few tasks ahead of us, and to how you will help.
Sir.
Yes, Dr. A. While I am not overly fond of putting my own mother in harm's way, she has proven more than capable of handling herself. This is not a matter for debate. Now,
I don't know that this is the time.
Dr. Holdren, it is time. As I'm sure several of you are already aware, I have been under Dr. Volkert's care for some time. I'm sorry, this is difficult for me. Our best efforts have failed. Every experimental treatment we could devise, I'm sorry to say I am dying.
What?
Can't be
Please,
serious.
everyone, please, I am sorry. This is not how I wanted to tell you.
You're dying?
I'm afraid so. A very aggressive form of cancer. Believe me when I say we've done everything we can. We can talk more later. Right now, the future of the Institute is at stake. The Institute cannot survive without leadership. The Directorate must continue to govern with the best interest of all in mind. To that end, I am naming my mother as my successor.
Oh, boy.
You can't be serious!
Really? Seems a poor choice.
How can you possibly justify this? She isn't one of us. She isn't even a scientist.
Ignoring your borderline, insubordinate tone, I will simply say this. The Institute has enough scientists. What it needs is a leader. I believe my mother has already proven herself more than capable. This will conclude this meeting. Thank you.
The latest synth generation is just amazing. Those guys in robotics are working miracles.
It's my I have no idea. responsibility to
I
make
know
sure
this
this place
is-
runs smoothly.
Well, it's a lot to take in at once. I'm sorry, Mother. I hope it wasn't too presumptuous of me to put you in charge without even asking first.
I don't want to run this place.
Are you so sure? You seem to have a natural talent for leading by example, getting things done. This will suit you. And I think we can both agree the Institute will need the guidance. There's no question that That's why I'd like you to take charge of this latest operation. Dr. Fillmore can... There are hard decisions ahead. For...
The Institute is my life. I hope it'll be yours too.
Dr. Fillmore.
Busy day for you, isn't it? Well, it's about to get busier. You're going to lead this operation, I'm told.
Not a chance. I'm not doing anything.
Look, I get that there's a lot going on right now, and this is all moving pretty fast. Fact is, this won't work unless we've got you. So take...
Sure. Allie.
Busy day for you, isn't it? Well, it's about to get busier. You're going to lead this
Absolutely.
All right, let's go over the details. Recent events have upset our timetable. Getting the reactor online has become our #1 priority. We're going to have to cut some corners. I'm not thrilled, but it means we'll need to rely on some pre-war tech.
That sounds dangerous.
Any place above ground has its risks.
Sounds good. I'd appreciate the company.
Not as much as I'd appreciate coming back in one piece. But here we are, with our... Not to put more pressure on you. We don't want them getting the agitator before we do. Head on up to the relay, and I'll meet you there.
Humanity's future is taking root right here.
Remember, health and happiness go hand in hand.